is warm in here. Maybe I should open the vent. Or I'll cool off once it gets started. Oh, that felt good. Hi. Hello. How are you this morning, or evening, or night, or whatever it may be? Pour toi for you. Good, I hope. Have you eaten? If it's that time for you. Have you had a drink of water? Water is good for the body. I have had all of the above. I have water here. There was something I was going to say. It left my brain. It left my brain. I have a cough drop in my mouth, pardon me. Yeah, I have to get used to it too. But I have switched to very hypo, clear base mouthwash and clear base toothpaste. That's what was messing up everything, my mouth and everything. Isn't that crazy? Because my ecosystem, I don't know. I guess I eat clean. I have no idea why my body's like, we don't like it. Get that foreign substance away from us. And give us whole things. That's what I was gonna say. I did have breakfast, although it was way too early. It wasn't way too early, but it was way too early for the weekend for me to eat breakfast. But I was like, I should just get this done. My protein shake and acai bowl. Which probably means I'll have a later lunch. Have you rested well? Interesting. thing that's been happening this morning. Old things that I have said previously in this space have come to my mind. And I'm like, God, then I guess not I guess, you knew why I said that then. And yet it was not heeded. H-E-E-D-E-D, heeded. What does heeded mean? Let's get the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let me not paraphrase. To heed is to pay attention, to give consideration or attention to mind. But God knew. God knew, and I don't mean it in a negative, by the way. That's why I'm also not saying what it is that's been coming to my mind, because I don't want it to be misinterpreted or to be taken out of in a different way that it's not meant. That's not meant as in like a haughty thing. It was meant like God had me say it then. He knew why. This is nothing to do with anything that I've seen, nothing. Like nobody has brought up what has come to my mind. Not one person. Just so we're clear. Again, and that does bring up something I do want to talk about. Sorry, I'm trying to part. I tell my son all the time, don't point at people. You got to. I'm starting to catch myself because it's just me here. Oh, yeah. You know what? Okay, one. Before I forget. I want to thank every single person who has shown me love. Hold on. It keeps saying I have a text message. Oh, spam. Anyway, sorry. Every single person who has shown me care, consideration, love, just so that I'm specific, because again, I don't want any misunderstanding or any to be read. I'm talking about not that anybody else has not done this. Okay, so again, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. If you're getting to know me, I am not somebody to like literally don't want to cause any offense. Unless I'm being me and that causes offense, I can't change that. But how I speak, and I can't change that because that just has to do with your personality, my personality. You may not like my personality, or my personality might make you feel like you're too much in the sun. And it's like, I'm not trying to sunbathe. I'd like to not be in the sun. I just, I want to be in my hoodie in my room in a dark, cold place. That's your preference, and that's okay. So other than that, with my words, okay, and like things that I speak that are me trying to communicate my feelings, I actively try to be aware of how I speak, because words matter. Also, how we perceive things, right? Our brain and how we don't actually ever, it is a scientific truth. We do not actually perceive things correctly. No, not one person does. We take in information. We then take in that information and size it against all that we've ever experienced in life. And then we come to a deduction, this is what it is. We deduce. Our brain consolidates that information. It takes it through all it's ever known, okay? And then puts it back out. Not always truth. Not always truth. Anywho, so what was my point? Yes. That I'm not trying to offend anybody. So again, it's not that I've said that I actively am not like, unless God tells me, hey, Priscilla, here's this person. Hey, Priscilla, here's this person. Because that's what he does. And he'll sit there and until I go and obey and do what he's told me to do. I'm not doing it because I found that if I obey him and do it when he tells me to, then it's perfect timing, and it's what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. Also, my son might knock. I told him to knock because this door, if he opens it, you will see his face, and I will flip out. So he's supposed to knock. If I hear anything coming, I'm turning off that camera. Stop pointing. Turning off that camera. Okay. Anywho, that all to say is I'm not talking about any movers. Okay. That's not true. Fine. Who cares? Every single person that has shown me love that I have seen, and again, you would know because you would see my name. Because I have no other profile that I'm looking at anything through or with. Okay. Point being is, I just am trying to say thank you. This is the whole thing of that, like, people's expectations and people's, like, and thank you for your care, and thank you for your affection, and thank you for your want of my eye on you. Thank you. That's a lot, though. It's a lot. Like, and God does it and never gets frustrated or gets exhausted. Wow. He never tires of us, and he knows, like, every single part of us and knows how we are and doesn't ever get tired. But so if I'm not able to see something, please do not take it personally. Okay. It's not intentional. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm not going to look at their stuff. It's just that I wasn't instructed to. But I do want to take time to thank the people that I have been instructed to go look at and to see. And thank you. So that is because I have seen, like, I don't know what it's like, maybe it's only one person. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Oh no, two. So that's the movers. I was actually talking to non-movers that I forgot to thank yesterday. That I saw, and then I saw one person's thing this morning. So thank you. If I don't even see it, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your love and attention. Thank you for your affection. Thank you for your care. Thank you for your want of notice. Thank you. Thank you. You don't have to. So I appreciate you, even if I haven't seen it yet. The songs that I heard, which when I was like, okay, God, that's interesting. And then I heard a phrase this morning out of nowhere in my head. And that's not how I greeted you. But I just thought, you all are beautiful people. You all are. Because you have breath. Yeah. And God brought you here to exist in all this earth. So you are beautiful to me. It's interesting. And this is not even what I was going to talk about. Honestly, God here lately has been, I don't know, Holy Spirit, come. We're in my sacred space again because it's been raining outside, and I was like, oh, we'll go hang out in the rain. Hang out in the rain. But I didn't feel that. I felt to come be here again in the sacred space. So it's funny to call it this because I've done not so sacred things in here. You know what I mean? Like, I've cried, I've slept, like, not so sacred, but it is my sacred space. The songs that I heard today, I don't think I'm going to sing. When I heard this one song, I was like, oh, and it brought me back again. So I think I'm going to start with this song. But the songs that I heard, Sunday by Tori Kelly, Sunday, that album, I think, I don't remember when it came out, but I remember 2019. Yeah, like that time frame, like having it on loop. Maybe before that, 2018. I don't know. Point being is I listened to that album like on repeat, and Psalm 42 from that album used to be my ringtone. No, it was my alarm. I apologize, which is funny, right? 'Cause it's not loud. I don't need loud things to wake me up. I just wake up once I hear. I hear my alarm. Okay. It's beautiful here. Sorry, the reason I was saying moving on is just so that way. So when I don't hear my phone, I find it odd. I'm like, God, I guess you don't want me to wake up. Like because I wake up. Like I'm just a person who hears a sound and wakes up. So I'm just like, okay, I guess it wasn't meant to be, or whatever. Maybe that was my thought. All right, Sunday Morning by Tori Kelly. It's Beautiful Here, Spontaneous by Corey Miller. Tell Me the Truth, Stephanie Gretzinger. Mi Angelo, My Longing by Kim Richards and Indy Omar. Holding Me Still, single version by Elle Linebear. If the Lord Builds the House, Hope Darst by Hope Darst. Evidence live featuring Aaron Williams by The Worship Initiative. The Good Shepherd featuring Abby Gamble, I think, I can't see, by Upper Room. I was in the shower when I heard these. So I didn't actually hear the lyrics of It's Beautiful Here. I don't even know if they're going to have it because this is a spontaneous, so I'm guessing it's just a live worship moment. Yeah, there's no lyrics. I don't know what it said. I couldn't hear it. I just heard the instruments and like the voice softly. But Tell Me the Truth by Stephanie Gretzinger. I'm going to read the lyrics. I might sing a portion of it if so the lyrics tell me the truth. Actually, let me pray. God, I thank you so much for your love. Thank you for every single person you've brought here. You know why. You know why. So I will not question. No. Please help us to hear what it is that you are saying. Clear our minds. And please meet each of us as we understand and recognize. Amen. All right. So Tell Me the Truth by Stephanie Gretzinger. When I heard it, the very, very first time I ever heard this song, it sounds very relational. Like it sounds like, to me, a marriage. Then as it goes along, I'm like, oh, she's talking to God. She might be talking to both. But I just thought that is, right? Like our relationship with God is, okay. Our relationship with God is what ripples and affects everything else. And it is a marriage, right? Surrendering yourself to somebody, right? Saying, I'm going to be my most bare, vulnerable self with you. So these are the lyrics. We're past polite, been on both sides, done a lot of life together. We're in the deep, here, talk is cheap. We chose family forever. Tell me the truth, even if it hurts me, even if it's ugly, my heart is open. Tell me the truth without the self-protection. Love can mend what's broken. in me and you. To me, this is not just only, this is so relational, right? If we'll be honest, expose our weakness, we'll find we're strongest together. So tell me the truth, even if it hurts, even if it's ugly. My heart is open. Tell me the truth without the self-protection. Love can mend what's broken in me and you. Tell me the truth, even if it hurts me, even if it's ugly. My heart is open. Tell me the truth without the self-protection. Love can mend what's broken in me and you. Brick by brick, we'll take the walls down, even if it takes a lifetime. Brick by brick, we'll take the walls down, even if it takes a lifetime. And she repeats that all the way out. And that, I think, made me think about how I have seen over and over again and learned people cannot be honest with another person. We cannot be honest with another person if we're not even honest with ourselves. How can I tell you the truth if I can't even tell myself the truth? And then it made me think about what she's saying, brick by brick. We'll take the walls down, even if it takes a lifetime. And I don't know, I've shared this before. Again, I don't know. So those who have heard this before know this already. I don't know if I've shared it recently or not. But I remember being a teenager and sitting and crying and listening to music. And I was around people. Nobody even noticed. Nobody said anything, if they did notice. And I remember mentally, which is bad. This is bad. But I would close my eyes and I'd be listening to music, just crying. And I would vision me putting bricks around myself. I can still remember it. Bricks on all sides of me. And I would say, nobody can hurt me. No one can hurt me here. Yeah. And brick by brick, God took all the walls down. Yeah. He's faithful to do it. We have to be obedient. We have to keep coming to him. We have to keep surrendering to him. We have to do the work, even though it sucks. As my friend would say, it's a lot of admin. You know, but it's worth it, right? We're worth it, right? And if you don't think you're worth it, you are. Not being trapped in the things that bind you to the ground and don't let you fly. You're worth that. You're worth not being caged. You're worth not having your arms and legs strapped down, burdened and weighted down. You're worth it. So even if it's a slight, like I've cut, okay, this rope here on my arm, it's been cut. Now it's just kind of dangling from my arm. All right, we're going to work on getting that off. Even if it's piece by piece, right? It's still worth the work. I wanted to read today. I actually came to the day of a fire kindled, a fire to be kindled. And the thing that it said at the very end was, no, I like that. I'm going to read it. So it's from this. A fire to be kindled. Luke 24:13-32. They asked each other, were not our hearts burning within us while he talked with us on the road and opened the scriptures to us? Luke 24:32. In Acts 17, Paul went to Mars Hill to declare the truth of the resurrection. Many listeners gathered there were not spiritual seekers. Luke, who wrote the book of Acts, records that they spent their days simply wanting to discuss the latest new ideas, with little interest in acting on what they've learned. Verse 21 of Luke 24. Too much information can be dangerous. All the ideas can blur together and become incoherent, leaving us unchanged by what we know. Centuries ago, the historian Plutarch warned of the danger of living on a purely informational level. He wisely said, "The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled." The Christ followers on the roads to Emmaus would have agreed, Luke 24. As they grieved the death of Jesus, the risen Christ himself joined them but hid his identity. He began instructing them about ancient Old Testament prophecies of recent events relating to Jesus. Later that day, Christ revealed himself to them and then departed. After Jesus' departure, they marveled at what they had heard. The things he taught were not sterile facts, but a fire that kindled their hearts with devotion for him. May we likewise trust the shepherd of our souls to kindle our hearts as we grow in his word. You cannot start a fire in another's heart till it is burning in your own. So that was this morning. And then interestingly, the songs closed out with Good Shepherd. And I'll just read the portion of that. But I don't know if it's going to show how she closes it out. There was a part I had never heard before. Oh, sorry, it's Amanda Bell. Good Shepherd featuring Amanda Bell by Upper Room. Thank you for your time and attention, by the way. I appreciate it. I love spending time with you. Okay, so the lyrics. Sometimes I find there's a fork in the road. Should I stay? Should I try to climb higher? To do what I'm made for, to know the Good Shepherd, to breathe in the air of the mountain, fill my lungs with the air of the mountain. You are my holy guide, my vision in my heights. Miles and miles high, I don't see you getting tired. Oh, Good Shepherd, I'll follow you where you lead, because your steps have tested the strength of the ground before me. Fear cannot hold me, I'm set on the mystery. Your invitation is calling, though faint is my strength. You're my eyes, you're the way. You give grace to my faith, so I'm climbing. You give strength to my day, so I'm climbing. You are my holy guide, my vision in my heights, miles and miles high. Don't see you getting tired. Oh, Good Shepherd, I'll follow where you lead. Your steps have tested the strength of the ground before me. Oh, Good Shepherd, you're faithful to take the lead. The way may be long, may be wild, but I know you're with me. I know you're with me. I know that you are with me. I know you're faithful. The foothills are no place for me anymore. Even broken feet could not keep me from seeking the one who faced death out of love for me. You said, follow me, so I am following. Oh, the foothills are no place for me anymore. Even broken feet could not keep me from seeking the one who faced death out of love for me. You said, follow me, so I'm following. And this part I really like too. So they repeat the, O Good Shepherd, I'll follow where you lead. Your steps have tested the strength of the ground before me. O Good Shepherd, you're faithful to take the lead. The way may be long, may be wild, but I know you're with me. You've always been with me. You've always been leading every step. You're never unclear with your voice, never unclear with your leadership, faithful to take the lead for me. Your leadership is always perfect. That part I loved. And I have it saved. I'm going to find the reminder of what is God and what's not God. I'll read it after this. Faithful you are, faithful you'll be. We pour out our praise for you, for the way you lead. Faithful you are, faithful you'll be forever. And that's how she finishes it. I really like it. So it ends with, oh, Good Shepherd, I'll follow where you lead. Your steps have tested the strength of the ground before me. Oh, Good Shepherd, you're faithful to take the lead. The way may be long, may be wild, but I know you're with me. I know that your faithfulness is never ending. Faithful you are, faithful you'll be forever. We pour out our praise for the way you lead. Have you ever seen a man as faithful as this? Have you ever known another man as faithful as this? Have you ever seen another man as faithful as this one? Have you ever seen another man as faithful as this? I really like that. Let me find that picture. That's the melody of the part of faithful you are, faithful you'll be. Where are you at? Ah, thank you. All right. God's voice, life-giving voice. Okay, that's how you want to phrase it. Life-giving voice, comforts, convicts. Now, what does convict mean? Because that can be, let's. To expose the truth, to prove someone guilty, or bring a clear awareness of sin to a person's conscience using evidence of spiritual truth. It's primarily, right, the Holy Spirit bringing it to our attention so that we know, oh, like this is what keeps pushing me away from God. Lord, forgive me. Help me to be better. Help me to do better, right? So, life-giving voice comforts, convicts, leads, advocates, right? Advocates, goes on behalf of somebody else, right? You guys know my definition, like I love looking at, but I want to make sure that I give you the accurate, just in case you don't know. Publicly support a cause or speaks on behalf of another person. That's what I just said, right? Goes on behalf of another person. Okay. Reassures, enlightens, encourages, calms, stills, S-T-I-L-L-S. Sometimes I say my I is weird. Is it anyways, point being is it holds still, it causes movement to stop, and protects, okay? Life-stilling voice, okay? Worries, condemns. Now, what's the difference between convict and condemn, right? To declare someone guilty, but adds wickedness, or that you're worthy to be punished, right? It's a negative verdict. You're guilty. There's no saving you. Condemns. Convict, you're guilty. But come on, let's do better. By grace, you're saved. By grace, you don't get the punishment. By mercy, right? That's the difference, right? Condemnation brings death. Conviction says, hey, that thing right there, it's hurting you. Let's do better, right? Like God puts his arm around your shoulder, right? That kind of thing. Pushes, makes things urgent, right? You gotta do this right now. Or you better do something right now. You're not doing enough, right? Pushes, frightens, accuses, confuses, discourages, makes us obsessive, obsesses, right? Oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh man, I should have done that, right? Rushes, kind of goes along with pushes too, right? But rushes, things are urgent. Don't pray about it. Don't think about it. Get it done now. If you don't get it done now, it goes to obsessing, right? If you don't get it done now, someone else will. You better hurry up and get it done. You better hurry up and get it done before they find out. Shames, right? Shame, there's no forgiveness. Shame makes us feel ugly, unwanted, alone. So, life-giving voice, life-stilling voice. That's how you know. Even if all we've ever known, right? Even if it's what our habit is and what we've heard and what we understand, the life-stilling voice, right? Like, I've talked about this. but maybe it's been a little bit, so I'm going to share again. I remember being 25, 26. I was between 24 and 26. Point being is I remember kind of was like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and like knew I wanted to change, but was kind of working on the change, but was still me, like in all the mess. And laying in bed, crying out to God, please don't forget me. Please don't leave me. I know I'm going to wake up and do exactly what I want to do, but please don't forget me. Those were literally my words to God. Don't forget me. Please don't leave me. All the while, he was in bed next to me. I'm right here, but you can't hear me. I haven't left you. I wouldn't leave you. I'm right here, but you can't hear me. But I'll stay. That's who God is. All right. I felt to read. So I'm going to read. And this is what God just told me to turn to. So this is what I'm doing. What good are bugs? From. So these are the big books. I don't actually know what the difference is because I've not looked. But there's the big books and there's the tiny books. What good are bugs? Bugs, go please. All right, let's see if I can get this done. Okay. It was a warm summer day in the 100-acre wood. Butterflies were flittering. Listen, I can't show you the pictures. You saw the picture. I have to. Can't do it today. My eyes will not focus. So here's the picture. Okay. It was a warm summer day in the 100-acre wood. Butterflies were fleeting around. That's not what it says. Read what it says. Butterflies were flitting here and there. Ants were marching in a row, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Rue was jumping with the grasshoppers. Mama, look at me. I can jump just like the grasshoppers, he said. Next picture. That's very nice, said Kinga. Now come, dear. It's the perfect day for a picnic. Did I hear someone say picnic? Asked Tigger, bouncing. Tigers love picnics. Hello, Tigger, said Kinga. Perhaps you and Rue can bounce along and invite everyone to join us. When they returned, Kinga had spread out a blanket and was getting things ready for the picnic. Everyone is coming, Mama, said Rue excitedly, except Owl. We couldn't get him to wake up. And Rabbit, he's going to be late. Soon the friends began arriving. Pooh brought a big pot of honey, Piglet brought some berries, and Eeyore brought some thistles. It's all I had, said Eeyore. They're not bad if you chew them with your eyes closed. Everyone sat down to a delicious lunch. I'll have a little larger helping, please, Pooh said to Kinga, who was serving the honey. When Pooh looked down, his honey was covered with ants. Pooh tried to shoo them away, but they just paraded across his plate, carrying his precious honey away, drop by drop. Zzz, swish, zzz, swish. Pooh looked over at Eeyore. He was surrounded by gnats. His ears twitched and his tail swatted, but the gnats kept swarming. I suppose I should be thankful they're noticing me, said Eeyore gloomily. That's that picture. Bzz, zip, click, clap. There were bugs everywhere. Flies were landing on the sandwiches, grasshoppers were leaping high and low, and mosquitoes were buzzing in Rue's ear. Mama, there's a tickling in my ear, said Rue. And there's an itchy on my arm, said Pooh. Eek! Buddy Bear, what's that smell? Asked Tigger, holding his nose. Stink, 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 said Pooh. Tiggers don't like stink bugs, cried Tigger. Meanwhile, Pooh's tummy was getting rumbler and grumbler. Let's go to my house for an indoor picnic, he suggested. When they got to Pooh's house, a swarm of angry bees chased them away. Tigger looked up and saw a honey pot hanging from down the beehive. Seems the bees don't like your new honey-catching invention, Pooh boy, he said. Pooh and his friends ran to Owl's house. "Owl, we need your help," Pooh called. "The mosquitoes are buzzing in my ear," said Roo. "Can you please get the bugs to stop bugging us?" asked Tigger. Eeyore swung his tail to swat away the gnats, and it fell off. "Seems things would be nicer without 'em," said Eeyore as Kanga helped put his tail back on. "What good are bugs anyway?" Owl tried to listen, but he could barely keep his eyes open. "I'm sorry," he said. "Could you repeat that? I'm a bit tired. A chirping cricket has been making so much noise around here lately. I've hardly slept a wink." "They're tickly," said Roo. "They're icky," said Eeyore. "They're stinky," said Tigger. "They're scary," said Piglet. "And they eat honey," Pooh added. A meeting was called at Pooh's thinking spot to figure out how to get rid of the bugs. "We could make a sign," said Pooh, "but it will have to be big enough for all the bugs to read." Piglet ran to get Christopher Robin's help with their sign. As Piglet ran out, Rabbit ran in. "Sorry I'm late," he said. "My garden is filled with caterpillars. I had to walk carefully so I wouldn't step on them." "Bugs can certainly be a bother," said Pooh. "That's why we're asking them to go away," said Roo. Oh, sorry, the pictures. "Go away?" Rabbit asked. "Well, I don't know about that. They've always been in my garden." He paced back and forth nervously. Rabbit wasn't sure, but he had a feeling his garden needed the bugs. "Maybe my garden likes bugs." "Likes bugs?" asked Pooh. "Well, perhaps we should go ask your garden why." When everyone got to Rabbit's garden, it was overflowing with colorful fruits, vegetables, and bugs. "Let's look closely and see what they're doing," said Rabbit. Everyone crouched down in the dirt to watch the bugs. "The ants are making the soil soft so my vegetables can grow," said Rabbit. "And these little animals called earthworms are leaving deposits that make the soil richer." What about these crawling, crunching caterpillars?" asked Tigger. "Caterpillars grow into butterflies," said Rabbit, "and some butterflies help fruits and flowers grow by spreading powdery yellow grains called pollen that help plants make seeds." I'm sorry, I guess I did it fast. Soon, Christopher Robin joined them. "I made the sign Piglet asked for, but are you sure you want the bees to go away, Pooh?" he asked. Where there are bees, there is honey. So the bees can stay, Pooh decided. "If the grasshoppers go, you won't get to hop with them anymore," Kanga reminded Roo. "But I like jumping like the grasshoppers," Roo said proudly. "I want the grasshoppers to stay." Rabbit really thought hard about how important bugs were. "And if the ants go, the soil in my garden will be hard as a rock. If the butterflies and bees go, my flowers won't grow." "Lots of bugs are useful," said Christopher Robin. "We need bugs, even when they seem bothersome." Pooh and his friends decided that the 100-acre wood was a better place with bugs. With Christopher Robin's help, they took the sign and crossed out "go" and replaced it with "stay." Now instead of the sign saying "bugs go please," it said "bugs stay please." Then Pooh dribbled a bit of honey on the sign. "Just a smackerel," he said, "for the bugs." Next one. Listen up, Tigger. Listen up, Tigger. I'll show the pictures after I read. It was Christopher Robin's birthday. Pooh gathered all his friends together in the 100-acre wood to plan the perfect surprise party. "We'll need someone to bring balloons, party hats, and oh, yes, the honey," Pooh said. It says, "Pay attention, that's the key. If there's a job to do, use your ears and listen up when people talk to you." Hoo-hoo-hoo! What can I do? Tigger bounced up and down excitedly. Stream the streamers, toot the horns. I'm ready to spring a ding-ding into action, 'cause springing is what Tiggers do best. Rabbit frowned. If you just stop bouncing around and listen, he scolded. No problem, buddy boy, said Tigger. I am listening. But as they went over the plans, Tigger fidgeted and fussed. He whirled and wiggled, he jiggled and wriggled. He hardly heard anything that was said. While everyone was getting things ready for the party, Tigger was busy too. He was busy bouncing and running around. Poor Tigger just couldn't sit still. As Kanga and Roo worked hard to blow up balloons, Kanga asked Tigger to tie the balloons to the top of a tree. But instead, Tigger started to pop them. How am I doing so far? He asked. Tigger, cried Kanga. I said to tie the balloons to the top of that tree, not pop them. Sorry, Tigger apologized. I'll listen harder next time. Rabbit was busy baking a delicious honey birthday cake. Tigger, why don't you pour in the honey? Rabbit suggested. Just a spot will do. So Tigger poured in what he thought he heard, just a pot or two. The honey flowed over the pot and all over the floor, making a big sticky puddle right in the middle of Pooh's kitchen. Tigger, why don't you pay attention? Rabbit snapped. Oops, said Tigger. I'll listen better next time. Tigger found Piglet rolling up streamers to take to the party. I could use a little help, Tigger, said Piglet. But again, Tigger didn't listen. He raced about, hanging streamers and decorations until he heard a little voice calling. Help! Help! Cried Piglet suddenly. Not to worry, pal, I'll get you out in a jiffy, said Tigger. He gave one hard tug and Piglet went spinning like a top. And with that, Piglet crashed right into Pooh's table, where Eeyore and Owl had been gathering hats. I guess I must have missed a word or two of your directions, Tigger said. Give me one more chance. I promise I'll listen. Well, we do need someone to bring Christopher Robin to the secret spot in the wood for his surprise party, said Owl. Secret missions are a Tigger specialty, Tigger explained. And with that, Tigger was off to get the guest of honor. After all that hard work, everyone gathered for the party. The decorations were in place and the birthday candles were lit. Everyone was hiding behind a big tree, ready to jump out and yell surprise. Mama, where do you suppose Christopher Robin is? Whispered Roo. Tigger was supposed to bring him here. Oh dear, he is late, said Kanga. I hope Tigger paid attention to what we told him. Oh, pictures. But Tigger was having a hard time recalling exactly where the party was supposed to be. Was it at Piglet's or Pooh's? He took his best guess. This way, said Tigger, tugging on Christopher Robin's arm. Tigger bounced through the door to Pooh's house and yelled, Surprise! But no one was there. What's going on, Tigger? Asked Christopher Robin. Follow me to Piglet, said Tigger. But Piglet's house was empty too, and so was Kanga's. Gee, I must not have heard right, Tigger said to himself. Where could the party be? Where is everybody? Asked Christopher Robin. Nobody seems to be home. Tigger and Christopher Robin sat down to think. Meanwhile, Pooh and his friends were getting worried. Maybe we should go look for them, offered Kanga. So off they went to search for Tigger and Christopher Robin. There you are, Pooh. We've been looking for you, cried Christopher Robin, spotting his friend. But we've been looking for you, said Pooh. This was supposed to be your surprise party. Ay, Dios mío. Ah, shucks. It's all my fault, said Tigger sadly. I didn't listen when I was told where the party was, and I ruined everything. It's okay, Tigger, said Pooh. There are still balloons and hats and games and birthday cake for everybody nearby. And I think Tigger has learned an important lesson, said Owl. Tigger has learned to listen. You bet I have, Tigger agreed. It's listen, listen, listen. Hoo-hoo! Christopher Robin thanked everybody, and then he made a wish before blowing out his candles. Sorry about the surprise, Tigger said sincerely. But from now on, pals of mine, I promise to be all ears. And stripes, of course, laughed Christopher Robin, because that's what makes Tiggers extra special. That's that book. Now listen, I'm just reading. That I'm doing what I was told. I kept turning away, trying not to. And I kept getting sent back. So I shall continue my mission that I was given. Why is the day all gray? Why is the day all gray? It was a chilly morning in the 100-acre wood when Pooh and Roo arrived at Owl's house. Why is the day all gray? Asked Roo. The sun is hiding behind those low-hanging clouds, said Owl, and this won't do at all. Why not? Asked Roo. What's the matter? The fog is the matter, Owl replied. I simply cannot fly today, and I must get to my uncle's Who's Who party. Oh dear, said Pooh. When will the fog go away so that you can fly? I don't know, Owl said sadly, but I'm already late. Maybe you could fly through the fog, suggested Pooh. No, said Owl. That's impossible. This particular fog is much too thick and far too low for me to fly through. Why, I can't even see the next tree over. What is fog anyways? Asked Roo. Owl thought for a moment. Fog, he began, is like a cloud that hugs the ground. Oh, said Roo. Well, when someone is hugging me so too tightly, I push them away like this. Roo gave Pooh a gentle push. Perhaps we can push the fog out of the way for you, Pooh suggested. Let's try, said Roo excitedly. Roo and Pooh pushed and pushed at the thick, damp air, but since there was only air to push against, the fog stayed right where it was. Oh, bother, said Pooh. It's still here. I guess my idea didn't work, said Roo. Maybe the fog is only hugging your tree, Owl. Let's see if we can find a place in the wood that isn't foggy. Splendid suggestion, said Owl. The three friends walked through the wood, looking for a bright, sunny spot. They soon saw a shadowy figure bounce by. Hoo-hoo-hoo, cried Tigger. Say, Beak Lips, what are you doing, walking when you got all those feathery things for your flying? It is my considered opinion that it is far too foggy to fly, said Owl. Tigger, can you help us make the fog go away so that Owl can fly? Asked Roo. Tigger thought for a moment. Absentatively, he announced. Getting rid of fog is what Tiggers do best. I'll just give a little scare and bouncity-bounce that fog right back into the sky. And so Tigger crouched down low and popped up with a giant boo. Then he booed and bounced all around, but the fog stayed right where it was. Finally, Tigger stopped. Whew, said Tigger, shaking himself off. Trying to scare that fog away made me one soggy Tigger. But it isn't raining, said Roo. Where's the water coming from? It must be in the fog, said Tigger, because I absolutely wet. I'm absolutely wet. Can't you feel it, little buddy? Roo lifted up his head and felt the cool, moist air on his face. The day was still gray and foggy. I'm sorry, Owl, said Roo. The fog is everywhere. We just don't know how to make it go away. Perhaps Piglet will know, said Pooh. He's always good with a puzzle. Great idea, Pooh boy, said Tigger. As the friends set off for Piglet's house, they couldn't see very well. Pooh and Roo went one way, while Owl and Tigger went another way. Suddenly, Roo heard a strange rustling sound. He hopped into Pooh's arms. What was that? Asked Roo. I don't know, said Pooh nervously. It's really hard to see in all this fog. Meanwhile, Tigger could not find Owl anywhere. Then he started hearing strange sounds too. Maybe if I disguise myself, whatever is making those scaredy sounds won't notice me, he thought. Pooh kept walking until he bumped into something that looked like a striped tree. Tigger, said Pooh. Hoo-hoo-hoo, laughed Tigger. I'm sure glad it's you, Buddy Bear. The three friends kept walking until they got to Pooh's thinking spot. There, by the tree, they saw two lights shining through the fog. What's that, buddy boys? Cried Tigger. Let's get out of here. I say, said a familiar voice, it's about time you showed up. It's Owl, cried Roo. Well, of course it's me, said Owl. I've been waiting for you. Pooh looked up and noticed that a little breeze had blown some of the fog away. It's a little less foggy, he said. Perhaps now would be a good time to look for Piglet's house. Everyone agreed. They left Pooh's thinking spot, which Tigger renamed Pooh's scaredy spot. When the friends got to Piglet's house, they found him sweeping his walk. Hello, Piglet, said Roo. Do you know how to get rid of this fog so that all can fly? Oh dear, said Piglet as he kept sweeping. No, I don't. Wait, said Roo excitedly. Maybe we could use all the brooms and sweep the fog away. Say, Roo boy, that's a fantastic idea, said Tigger. You got any extra tea brooms there, Piglet? This is my only one, Piglet replied, but there is someone who has lots of brooms. Rabbit, they all yelled together. Rabbit! Everyone hurried over to Rabbit's house. Hey there, Longears, Tigger called. Do you have some brooms we can use? Rabbit got excited when he saw all his friends. A cleaning party, he exclaimed. What an excellent idea! But to Rabbit's surprise, everyone took the brooms outside. Rabbit went to see what his friends were doing. Oh, no, said Rabbit, watching his brooms in action. What is going on here? We're sweeping the fog away so that Owl can fly, explained Roo. That's silly, said Rabbit. The fog will go away by itself. Pooh kept sweeping. It seems to be getting a bit warmer, he said, wiping his brow. I don't need this anymore, said Roo, removing his scarf. It's absolutely drier than it was before, noticed Tigger. I'm not feeling so wet behind the ears or anywhere else. Roo waited and watched for the fog to leave. Why is the day still gray? He asked, looking around. Wait and see, said Rabbit. As the air warms up more and more, the fog will disappear. Then the day won't be gray anymore. A few hours later, the only clouds Owl and his friends could see were in the sky. What do you know? Announced Owl, who was perched atop Rabbit's weather vane. Rabbit was right. The warmer air has turned this gray, foggy day into a clear one. It's flying weather after all. Thank you all for your help. I'm off to the party. Goodbye. That's that book. All right, if you need to take a second to go get water or to use the baño or to do whatever, this is going to be my caveat, or my pause. Let's use that word instead, not caveat, not the right thing, not the right word. So let's pause because I don't feel to do that one after all. I'm going to read Untamed. So this is the break. Untamed contains cussing, contains sexuality, contains adult themes. So if you do not want to hear that, cussing, adult themes, sexuality, now is your time to bid yourself adieu and close out. Thank you for your time and attention. If you've stayed this long, I appreciate you. Well, I guess if someone did go use the restroom, they would just have to work it back, right? Okay. We are at part 2. Keys. He'll come knock. Sorry, my son, I'm sure he's getting hungry for lunch. He had food before I came in. Like, I got him settled. He's on his tablet. He'll come get me. But it's also a bit, like, as a parent, when your kid can, he's old enough. But I'm just like, what are you, I feel like I need to do a check-in. I'm going to do that. That's the break. I'll be right back. I want to make sure he's okay. I will be right back. Let me turn off the camera because I don't want to show anything. Okay, 1 second. He is okay. All right. make sure that I am decent here. All right. Part 2, keys. Dropping keys. The small woman builds cages for everyone she knows, while the sage, who has to duck her head when the moon is low, keeps dropping keys all night long for the beautiful, rowdy prisoners. Hafiz. I was never completely gone. My spark was always inside me, smoldering. But I sure as hell felt gone for a long while. My childhood bulimia morphed into alcoholism and drug use, and I stayed numb for 16 years. Then when I was 26, I got pregnant and sober. Sobriety was the field in which I began to remember my wild. It went like this. I began building the kind of life a woman is supposed to build. I became a good wife, mother, daughter, Christian, citizen, writer, woman. But while I made school lunches, wrote memoirs, rushed through airports, made small talk with neighbors, carried on with my outer life, I felt an electric restlessness buzzing inside me. It was like constant thunder rolling right there beneath my skin. A thunder made of joy and pain and rage and longing and love too deep, scalding and tender for this world. It felt like hot water simmering, always threatening to boil. I was afraid of what was inside me. It felt powerful enough to destroy every bit of the lovely life I'd built. Like how I never felt safe on a balcony because what if I jump? It's okay, I told myself. I'll keep myself and my people safe by keeping my insides hidden. Let me tell you how God healed me. I don't even know why I highlighted that sentence. Wow. I was amazed at how easy this was. I was filled with electric thunder, simmering water, fiery red and gold, but all I had to do was smile and nod, and the world would take me for easy, breezy blue. Sometimes I wondered if I wasn't the only one using her skin to contain herself. Maybe we were all fire wrapped in skin, trying to look cool. My boiling point was the moment Abby stepped through that doorway. I looked at her and could no longer contain myself. I lost control. Fire red and golden rolling bubbles of pain and love and longing filled me, brought me to my feet, threw my arms open wide, insisting, there she is. For a long while, I thought what happened that day was some kind of fairy tale magic. I thought the words, there she is, came to me from on high. Now I know that there she is came from within. That wild rowdiness that had simmered for so long and then turned itself into words and lifted me was me. The voice I finally heard that day was my own. The girl I locked away at 10 years old. The girl I was before the world told me who to be. And she said, here I am. I'm taking over now. When I was a child, I felt what I needed to feel, and I followed my gut, and I planned only for my imagination. I was wild until I was tamed by shame. Until I started hiding and numbing my feelings for fear of being too much. Until I started differing to others' advice instead of trusting my own intuition. Until I became convinced that my imagination was ridiculous and my desires were selfish. Until I surrendered myself to the cages of others' expectations, cultural mandates, and institutional allegiances. Until I buried who I was in order to become what I should be. I lost myself when I learned how to please. Priscilla's highlights and notes. Sobriety was my painstaking resurrection. It was my return to wild. It was one long remembering. It was realizing that the hot electric thunder I felt buzzing and rolling inside was me, trying to get my attention, begging me to remember, insisting, I'm still in here. So I finally unlocked and unleashed her. I set free my beautiful, rowdy, true, wild self. I was right about her power. It was too big for the life I was living. So I systematically dismantled every piece of it. Then I built a life of my own. I did it by resurrecting the very parts of myself that I was trained to mistrust, hide, and abandon in order to keep others comfortable. My emotions, my intuition, my imagination, my courage. Those are the keys to freedom. Those are who we are. Will we be brave enough to unlock ourselves? Will we be brave enough to set ourselves free? Will we finally step out of our cages and say to ourselves, to our people, and to the world, here I am. my highlights. Okay. So many highlights. I'm going to read. Okay, Lord. I hope, I don't know, you guys. I'm just going to obey. Fill. Key 1, fill it all. On my 6th day of sobriety, I went to my 5th recovery meeting. I sat in a cold plastic seat, trembling, trying to keep the coffee from spilling out of my paper cup and my fillings from spilling out of my skin. For 16 years, I had made damn sure that nothing touched me. And suddenly, everything in the world was touching me. I was an exposed nerve. Everything hurt. I was embarrassed to tell anyone how much I hurt, but I decided to try to explain it to the people in that circle. They were the first people I trusted with all of me, because they were the first people I ever heard tell the whole truth. They had shown me their inside, so I showed them mine. I said something like, I'm Glennon, and I've been sober for 6 days. I feel awful. I think this awfulness is why I started drinking in the first place. I'm starting to worry that what was wrong with me wasn't the booze. It was underneath it. It was me. It doesn't seem like being alive is as hard for other people as it is for me. It just feels like there's some kind of secret to life I don't know. Like I'm doing it all wrong. Thanks for listening. After the meeting ended, a woman walked over and sat down next to me. She said, thanks for sharing. I relate. I just wanted to tell you something that somebody told me in the beginning. I'm going to cry again. Thank you, God, that you had me read this book. And fast forward all these years, that you did the work without me even knowing it. Thank you. Thank you for the space. Thank you for all these people. Thank you. Thank you. And if my courage, God, inspires anybody to do the work, then let it be your will and to the glory of your name, not mine. Because you make our lives beautiful. It's okay to feel all the stuff you're feeling. You're just becoming human again. You're not doing life wrong. You're doing it right. If there's any secret you're missing, it's that doing it right is just really hard. Feeling all your feelings is hard, but that's what they're there for. Feelings are for feeling, all of them, even the hard ones. The secret is that you're doing it right, and that doing it right hurts sometimes. I did not know before that woman told me that all feelings were for feeling. I did not know that I was supposed to feel everything. I thought I was supposed to feel happy. I thought that happy was for feeling and that pain was for fixing and numbing and deflecting and hiding and ignoring. I thought that when life gets hard, I thought that when life got hard, it was because I had done something wrong somewhere. I thought that pain was weakness and that I was supposed to suck it up. The thing was that the more I sucked it up, the more food and booze I had to suck down. That day, I began returning to myself, fearful and trembling, pregnant and 6 days sober in a church basement with shitty fluorescent lights and terrible coffee. When a kind woman revealed to me that being fully human is not about feeling happy, it's about feeling everything. From that day forward, I began to practice feeling it all. I began to insist upon my right and responsibility to feel it all, even when taking the time and energy for feeling made me a little less efficient, a little less convenient, and a little less pleasant. In the past 18 years, I've learned 2 things about pain. First, I can feel everything and survive. What I thought would kill me didn't. Every time I said to myself, I can't take this anymore, I was wrong. The truth was that I could, and I did take it all, and I kept surviving. Surviving again and again made me less afraid of myself, of other people, of life. I learned that I'd never be free from pain, but I could be free from the fear of pain, and that was enough. I finally stopped avoiding fires long enough to let myself burn, and what I learned was that I am like the burning bush. The fire of pain won't consume me. I can burn and live. I can live on fire. I am fireproof. Second, I can use pain to become. I am here to become truer, more beautiful versions of myself again and again forever. To be alive is to be in perpetual state of revolution. Whether I like it or not, pain is the fuel of revolution. Everything I need to become the woman I'm meant to be next is inside my feelings of now. Life is alchemy, and emotions are the fire that turns me to gold. I will continue to become only if I resist extinguishing myself 1,000,000 times a day. If I can sit in the fire of my own feelings, I will keep becoming. Consumer culture promises us that we can buy our way out of pain, that the reason we're sad and angry is not that being human hurts. It's because we don't have those countertops, her thighs, these jeans. This is a clever way to run an economy, but is not a way to run a life. Consuming keeps us distracted, busy, and numb. Numbness keeps us from becoming. This is why every great spiritual teacher tells us the same story about humanity and pain. Don't avoid it. You need it to evolve, to become, and you are here to become. Like Buddha, who had to live his life of comfort, leave his life of comfort to experience all kinds of human suffering before finding enlightenment. Like Moses, who wandered 40 years in the desert before seeing the promised land. Like Wesley from The Princess Bride, who said, "Life is pain, Highness. Anyone who says differently is selling something." Like Jesus, who walked straight toward his own crucifixion. First the pain, then the waiting, then the rising. All of our suffering comes when we try to get to our resurrection without allowing ourselves to be crucified first. There is no glory except straight through your story. Pain is not tragic. Pain is magic. Suffering is tragic. Suffering is what happens when we avoid pain and consequently miss our becoming. This is what I can and must avoid. Missing my own evolution because I am too afraid to surrender to the process. Having such little faith in myself that I am numb or hide or consume my way out of my fiery feelings again and again. So my goal is to stop abandoning myself and stay. To trust that I'm strong enough to handle the pain that is necessary to the process of becoming. Because what scares me a hell of a lot more than pain is living my entire life and missing my becoming. What scares me more than feeling it all is missing it all. These days, when pain comes, there are two of me. There is the me that is miserable and afraid, and there is the me that is curious and excited. The second me is not a masochist. She's wise. She remembers. She remembers that even though I can't know what will come next in my life, I always know what comes next in the process. I know that when the pain and the waiting are here, the rising is on its way. I hope the pain will pass soon, but I'll wait it out because I've tested pain enough to trust it. And because who I will become tomorrow is so unforeseeable and specific that I'll need every bit of today's lessons to become her. I keep a note stuck to my bathroom mirror. Fill it all. It reminds me that although I began to come back to life 18 years ago, I resurrect myself every day and every moment that I allow myself to fill and become. It's my daily reminder to let myself burn to ashes and rise new. All the highlights. And I wrote Phoenix here. I don't know why I'm showing my highlights in my notes. All right. I'm going to read no, and then I'm going to stop. And that's what I felt like I was supposed to do. So this next section, and then this will be it. Thank you for your time. No. Key 2. Be still and know. Several years ago, very early one morning, I found myself unable to sleep again. It was 3 a.m., and I was wild-eyed, shaky, flailing, grasping for answers like a drowning woman desperate for air. I had just typed these words into my Google search window. What should I do if my husband is a cheater, but also an amazing dad? I stared at that question and thought, well, I have hit some sort of new rock bottom. I've just asked the internet to make the most important and personal decision of my life. Why do I trust everyone else on earth more than I trust myself? Where the hell is myself? When did I lose touch with her? I clicked on article after article anyway. Distressingly, everyone thought I should do something different. The religious experts insisted that a good Christian would stay. Feminists argued that a strong one would leave. Parenting articles preached that a good mother thinks only of what is best for her children. All those differing opinions meant that I quite literally could not please everyone. That was a relief. When a woman finally learns that pleasing the world is impossible, she becomes free to learn how to please herself. I looked at all of those contradictory opinions and thought, if there is, in fact, an objective right or wrong way to handle this, why do all these people have such different ideas about what a person should do? I had an epiphany. It must be that should and shouldn't, right and wrong, good and bad, they're not wild, they're not real. They're just culturally constructed, artificial, ever-changing cages created to maintain institutions. It struck me that in every family, culture, or religion, ideas of right and wrong are the hot cattle prods, the barking sheepdogs that keep the masses in the herd. They are the bars that keep us caged. I decided that if I kept doing the right thing, I would spend my life following someone else's directions instead of my own. I didn't want to live my life without living my life. I wanted to make my own decision as a free woman from my soul, not my training. But the problem was, I didn't know how. A few weeks later, I opened a card from a friend that said, in bold, capital, thick, black lettering, "Be still and know." I read that verse many times before, but it struck me freshly this time. It didn't say poll your friends and know, or read books by experts and know, or scour the internet and know. It suggested a different approach to knowing. Just stop. Stop moving. Stop talking. Stop searching. Stop panicking. Stop feeling. If you just stop doing, you'll start knowing. This seemed like magical nonsense. But desperate men take desperate measures. I decided to experiment. After the kids left for school, I shut myself in my closet, sat down on a towel, and closed my eyes and did nothing but breathe. At first, each 10-minute session felt 10 hours long. I checked my phone every few minutes, planned my grocery lists, and mentally redecorated my living room. The only things I seemed to know on that floor were that I was hungry and itchy and suddenly desperate to fold laundry and reorganize my pantry. I was an input junkie thrown into detox. I was tempted to quit every second, but was stern with myself. 10 minutes a day is not too long to spend finding yourself, Glennon. For God's sake, you spend 80 minutes a day finding your keys. After a few weeks, like a gymnast who is able to stretch deeper after each training, I began to feel myself dropping lower during each closet session. Eventually, I sank deep enough to find a new level inside me that I'd never known existed. This place is underneath, low, deep, quiet, still. There are no voices there, not even my own. All I can hear down there is my breath. It was as though I'd been drowning, and in my panic, I had been gasping for air, calling for rescue, and floating on the surface. But what I really needed to do to save myself was let myself sink. It struck me that this is why we say to people, calm down. Because beneath the noise of the pounding, swirling surf is a place where all is quiet and clear. Since the chaos stills in this deep, I could sense something there I was not able to sense on the surface. It was like the silent chamber in Denmark, one of the quietest places in the world where people can actually hear and feel their own blood circulating. There in the deep, I could sense something circulating inside me. It was a knowing. I can know things down at this level that I can't on the chaotic surface. Down here, when I pose a question about my life, in words or abstract images, I see a nudge. I sense a nudge. The nudge guides me toward the next precise thing, and then, when I silently acknowledge the nudge, it fills me. The knowing feels like warm liquid gold filling my veins and solidifying just enough to make me feel steady, certain. Why am I getting emotional? Because I don't remember things when I read them. I've told you guys this. I remember people's details. I remember people's faces. I remember the stories. I remember everything else. That's how God made my brain. And music, apparently. And so to be reading this and fast forward to find that I lived it and am living it. God is just amazing to me. What I learned, even though I'm afraid to say it, is that God lives in this deepness inside me. When I recognize God's presence and guidance, God celebrates by flooding me with warm, liquid gold. Every day I return to the closet, sat down on the floor, littered with t-shirts and jeans. I practiced sinking. The knowing would meet me in the deep and nudge me toward the next right thing, one thing at a time. That was how I began to know what to do next. That was how I began to walk through my life more clearly, solid and steady. A year later, I found myself in the middle of a work meeting, sitting at a long conference table where we were discussing an important decision that had to be made, and the team was looking to me for leadership. I felt uncertain. I was about to fall back into my old way of knowing, looking outward for acceptance, permission, and consensus. But when I glanced over and caught sight of the door to the supply closet, I remembered my new way of knowing. I wondered if the team would mind if I excused myself to spend a few minutes in that closet. Instead, I took a deep breath, and with eyes wide open, I turned inward and tried to sink right there at the table. It worked. I sensed the nudge, and as soon as I acknowledged it, I was filled with warm liquid gold. I rose back to the surface, smiled, and said, "I know what to do." I calmly and assuredly told the others the thing I wanted us to do. The panic in the room settled. Everyone breathed and seemed instantly relaxed and steady. We moved on. God came out of that closet, and now I can take God anywhere. I now take orders only from my own knowing. Whether I'm presented with a work, personal, or family decision, a monumental or tiny decision, whenever uncertainty rises, I sink. I sink beneath the swirling surf of words, fear, expectations, conditioning, and advice, and feel for the knowing. I sink 100 times a day. I have to, because the knowing never reveals a 5-year plan. It feels to me like a loving, playful guide. Like the reason it will only reveal the next right thing is that it wants me to come back again and again, because it wants to do life together. After many years, I'm developing a relationship with this knowing. We are learning to trust each other. When I talk like this, my wife raises her eyebrow and asks, "Aren't you just talking to yourself down there?" Maybe. If what I found in the deep is just myself, if what I've learned is not how to commune with God, but how to commune with myself, if who I have learned to trust is not God, but myself, and if, for the rest of my life, no matter how lost I get, I know exactly and where how to find myself again, well then, that is certainly enough for a miracle for me. Why do we worry about what to call the knowing instead of sharing with each other how to call the knowing? I know many people who have found this level inside them, and I live solely by it. Some call the knowing God, or wisdom, or intuition, or source, or deepest self. I have a friend with some serious God issues, and she calls it Sebastian. A God by any other name is an equal miracle and relief. It doesn't matter what we call our knowing. What matters, if we want to live our singular shooting star of a life, is that we call it. I have learned that if I want to rise, I have to sink first. I have to search for and depend upon the voice of inner wisdom instead of voices of outer approval. This saves me from living someone else's life. It also saves me a hell of a lot of time and energy. I just do the next thing the knowing guides me toward, one thing at a time. I don't ask permission first, which is just such a grown-up way to live. The best part is this. The knowing is beyond and beneath language, so I have no language to use to translate it to anyone. Since it doesn't use words to explain itself to me, I quit using words to explain myself to the world. This is the most revolutionary thing a woman can do. The next precise thing, one thing at a time without asking permission or offering explanation. This way of life is thrilling. I understand now that no one else in the world knows what I should do. The experts don't know. The ministers, the therapists, the magazines, the authors, my parents, my friends, they don't know. Not even the folks who love me the most. Because no one has ever lived or will ever live this life I am attempting to live with my gifts and challenges and past and people. Every life is an unprecedented experiment. This life is mine alone. So I've stopped asking people for directions to places they've never been. There is no map. We are all pioneers. I've got this second key tattooed on my wrist. Be still. It's my daily reminder that if I'm willing to sit in the stillness with myself, I always know what to do. That the answers are never out there. They are as close as my breath and as steady as my heartbeat. All I have to do is stop flailing, sink below the surface, and feel the nudge and the gold. Then I have to trust it, no matter how illogical or scary the next right thing seems. Because the more consistently, bravely, and precisely I follow the inner knowing, the more precise and beautiful my outer life becomes. The more I live by my own knowing, the more my life becomes my own and the less afraid I become. I trust that the knowing will go with me wherever I go, nudging me toward the next thing, one thing at a time, guiding me all the way home. How to know. Moment of uncertainty rises. Breathe. Turn inward. Sink. Feel around for the knowing. Do the next thing it nudges you toward. Let it stand. Don't explain. Repeat forever. For the rest of your life, continue to shorten the gap between the knowing and the doing. God bless her. By the way, she has knowing capitalized, capital K. She's had it since she referenced it. Wow. It's crazy. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I think I'm going to pray. No, I think I know I am. God, please be with every single person who is listening to this, who's come across this, who will come across this, God. I think you're beautiful. And you're what makes me see everything else as beautiful. Every single beautiful person, God. Before I pray, never mind. Please be with everybody. Strengthen their minds and their bodies. Help them to understand their knowing. Help them, God. Help us to be uncomfortable. To learn to sit and be still. And to hear what it is that you're speaking to each of us. Please help them in all that they're doing. As they seek to push forward. As they seek and reach for life. For the light. May they find you. And thank you, God, for bringing our lives full circle, never leaving anything undone. You're a good Father, and you love completing your work. Amen. Thank you for your time and attention. I really appreciate it. I think this is the longest I've ever done this. Time flies. I love you. 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 Also, to the two I've never not felt anything but love for you, and still do. It's the truth. May God bless you. May God bless you all. I love you. Bye.